gentlemen, on behalf of the graduating class of 2012, I would like to welcome you to Fairview High School's 82nd commencement ceremony. Tonight, we are gathered to celebrate the accomplishments of these fine young adults behind me. Please keep in mind that even though this is a time to celebrate, your celebrations should be respectful and tasteful throughout the proceedings. Please hold your applause until the graduates have received their diplomas. All of the graduates have received their diplomas. The welcoming speech is often a time where the class says its thank yous. So if you don't mind, I was going to take this moment to write our thank you notes. Can I get some thank you note music? That's it. Thank you, administration, for never participating in casual Fridays, and for through thick and thin keeping our school on a straight and narrow path to success. Seriously, unlimited tie combinations. Thank you, technology, for being ever so prevalent, but never working when you needed it to. Netbooks. Enough said. Thank you, teachers, for giving us the gift of knowledge, but never being able to successfully teach us that procrastination doesn't pay. Finished this 5 minutes ago. Thank you, randomly hanging inspirational posters throughout the halls. Because without you, we don't know if we would have been able to make it through the days. Thank you, parents and family. Never before have we met such caring and multi-talented people. You've been our alarm clocks, personal chefs, secretaries, and taxi drivers all before 8 a.m. Pretty good. Thank you, lack of air conditioning, because nothing builds character more than dripping with sweat by second period. I change like twice a day. Thank you, friends, for being with us through good times and bad. And remember, friendship isn't priceless. Your tab is $15.87 and can be paid to me with check or money order. I'm going cashless next year. Thank you, everyone else, because if I forgot you, you would leave feeling neglected. And everybody's a winner. Thank you, piano accompanist, for making me feel like Jimmy Fallon, just for a little bit. Thank you, class of 2012, for a lifetime of memories, including several I will never want to remember. Nightmares. My final thank you is often one that I find forgotten. We are always busy thanking others, but take a moment to thank yourself. I don't mean to sound self-centered, but I did not see the teachers or your parents carry you up on stage. It was your two legs that got you to this momentous point in your life. So I think I don't owe you anything. You owe yourself a pat on the back. This is not only a time to celebrate with others, but a chance to look inward at your personal journey to this pinnacle moment, to this summit. Looking back, you will not see one large path leading to this stage. Instead, you will see 138 unique and separate paths. Each one of us has paved our own path to this summit, and it has had plenty of success and failure along the way. The roadblocks may have seemed unconquerable at times, but we have overcome them with either the help of others or through our own willpower. Over the course of this journey, we have made lasting friendships and many wonderful memories. The time together has uniquely shaped us as individuals, preparing us for life's upcoming journey. In the distance, there is a hazy outline of yet another towering peak. The journey to this summit seems vague and the path is unclear. For each of us, this summit is different, and the journey to it will be completely in your own hands. But with the lessons and relationships formed in the past 4 years, I believe you are all prepared to face this next leg of life's journey. Good luck to each and every one of you in this journey, and here's to hoping that our paths will cross again in the future. Thank you. At this time, I would like to call forth Aaron Wolanski for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. On behalf of my fellow members of the Board of Education, the superintendent, and all of the administrators, teachers, and staff of the Fairview Park City Schools, I want to welcome each and every one of you to this very special event as we honor our graduates. Tonight, we gather to celebrate a significant milestone in the lives of these students, their high school graduation. Tonight is also a very special night for every parent, family member, friend, teacher, and coach gathered here in this audience. Twice over the past several years, I watched as my own two sons received their diplomas in this very auditorium. When my youngest graduated in 2009, I had the special privilege of actually handing him his diploma. So I know how wonderful it feels to be sitting out there in the audience, watching as your child, grandchild, niece, nephew, or student steps out from his or her seat on the stage and walks down the aisle to receive their diploma. Truth is, this ceremony has been repeated in one form or another for thousands of years in coming-of-age ceremonies in every culture throughout every period of human history. For these graduates truly are coming of age today. To the graduates, some of you will be enrolling in vocational training, many of you will be attending 2- or 4-year colleges, both public and private. I've seen the list, it is impressive. Some of you will be enrolling in vocational training or seeking employment opportunities directly, making more immediate contributions to our community. Still others will be heading off to the military to proudly and bravely serve our country. Thank you. All of you have worked hard and achieved your goals. All of you have tremendous gifts and potential. Yours is truly a very special class. On these occasions, many people like to give words of advice. I will leave you with a poem. I read it many years ago. I promptly framed it and placed it in my office so that I would be reminded of it every day. It is titled simply, Success, and it is attributed to Ralph Waldo Emerson. I offer it up to you today, not as advice, but as a suggestion, a yardstick by which you might choose to measure success in your own lives. It reads, success, to laugh often and love much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exaltation, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to succeed. On behalf of the Fairview Park Board of Education and the administration, teachers, and staff of the Fairview Park City Schools, I wish every one of you success.
Good evening. That's loud. First of all, I'm speaking to you folks, but I'm going to speak to everybody because I think this year, especially in what's going on in the world and the way things have gone, that my remarks, I hope, will ring true to the graduates for sure, and to you parents and friends and guests. I've entitled my remarks tonight, Be Served by Serving Others. You know, we live in a world where it seems to be all about self. And I encourage you, especially you graduates, to think about serving others and allowing yourselves in return to be served. A quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, I jokingly said to Mr. Sheets when Mr. Tchaikovsky started to read a quote, it's a good thing Mr. Emerson's a lot smarter than me because I thought he was going to steal my quote, but Ralph Waldo Emerson says, it is one of the most beautiful compensations of life that no one can sincerely try to help another without helping themselves. So I'd like to share a couple of stories with you tonight, and I can guarantee you that they are both 100% factual. I'd like to share a story of a young family that grew up living in the South. It's a place that's near and dear to my wife Carol and I, because that's where I started my career in Georgia. And it was a father and a son, and they're out riding bikes. And they're riding their bikes through their neighborhood, and they go into this large playground area. And as will happen, some people have decided to discard their empty beer cans, pop cans in the playground area. And so the dad, being the good dad that he is, says to his son, he said, you know what we ought to do here is we ought to pick up all these cans and clean up this mess. And also at the time, aluminum was going for about 45 cents a pound, and he said, and we can collect these cans, we'll take them and recycle them, and then you'll have some money. Dad thinking he's teaching his son a good economy lesson, economics. And the little boy looked up at his dad and he said, but Dad, what if we go get a bunch of cans, get the money, and give it to the poor? And the dad felt about this big. Because you see, out of the mouths of babes comes a lot of wisdom. So a couple Sundays later, the father was in church, and he's kind of popping at his buttons about what his son has said. And the minister says to the dad that he said, by doing those things, you will be served. And the dad had no understanding of how could a homeless person who has nothing serve me. Well, the culmination of that story is the church took that notion of that little 5-year-old boy and went citywide and collected thousands of dollars over time that they gave to a food mission. So folks, we need to be served by serving others. Second story I want to share with you tonight is about a family in Philadelphia who began on Sunday mornings looking for an alternative to church. They felt a little disconnected. And they had read somewhere about another young man who was feeding the homeless. So they took it upon themselves. They got up one Sunday morning and they were going to go to downtown and feed the homeless. Now they had no idea what they were doing. They had no idea where they were going. They were going to go downtown to a park. The night before, they'd made a little assembly line. They had the bags, and the loaf of bread dealt like a deck of cards, put a piece of meat, a piece of fruit, a cookie, a little note on a napkin, and they put it in the bag, and they headed off for downtown. What they found when they got down there was, first it was 50 every Sunday morning, then it was 75, then it was 100. But the interesting part was that there were all kinds of roadblocks that whomever you want to say put in their way to not do it. One of them would wake up with a sore throat, one of them would have a headache, but they did it anyway. And you know what the amazing part was, as they were driving home, they realized, you know what, I don't have a headache anymore. My sore throat's gone. All these things that were roadblocks to put in their way, that went away. Be served by serving others. There were days they ran out of lunches. They didn't have enough to provide for everyone. Then right before their eyes, they saw men, hungry, open up their sack lunch and tear their sandwich in half and give it to their buddy. Every Sunday as the line would form, they would see men stepping out of line, letting women and children or disabled people come to the front of the line to ensure that they got something to eat. They saw their children bring joy and life to these people as they ran amongst them and interacted with them. Folks, we can be served by serving others. They were criticized by many for promoting the homeless lifestyle, providing food for these people. They need to just get out and get a job. They need to just provide for themselves. They were criticized for putting their children at risk by allowing to be around these types. Eleanor Roosevelt was quoted as saying, "Do what you feel in your heart to be right. You'll be criticized anyway." You may say, like many have, how can people hurting or in need serve me? The response is, by doing what is right in your heart, you shall be served, and the joy will be boundless. Be served by serving others. As many of you know, 3 years ago, a young Irishman married into our family, so every year I've tried to end my remarks with an Irish blessing, and this year I'd like to share this one with you, and it comes from my heart. It goes like this. May joy and peace surround you, contentment latch your door, and happiness be with you now and bless you evermore. Graduates, congratulations, and may God bless.
To the class of 2012, if the question was posed, and it has been on a few occasions, how could one ask for a better first group of seniors than the class of 2012? It would take very little examination for one to respond with, one could not ask for a better group to begin his tenure at Fairview High School with than the class of 2012. After all, the vein in one's forehead never even had to pop out until last Friday. In all seriousness, you are a highly talented, well-accomplished group of young people whose parents, teachers, and community have instilled strong values, a depth of knowledge, and a desire to achieve. You've had a great deal of success in the classroom, so much so that you're represented by a National Merit Scholar, a future Georgetown Hoya, and a classmate that began his true college career yesterday. You have a wonderful year athletically, get team championships, individual records, and most recently a state qualifier. You're a gifted group musically and in the arts with talents in photography and sculpture, choreography and dance, and instrumental and vocal music, which culminated, mind you, in a classmate's performance last Friday that had Mr. Deitch and I prepared to buy tickets to her first concert. Throughout the last several weeks, and undoubtedly over the next several days, you're going to be showered with praise and adoration for the many accomplishments you have achieved in your lives. And here I am to be the one to tell you the truth. It doesn't mean a whole lot. Now don't get me wrong, Be proud of what you've done. Take this opportunity to celebrate, because celebration of success is sometimes overlooked. However, please be aware that what you do moving forward is exponentially more important than what you have done so far. In other words, if the pinnacle of your success has already happened, then you've got a long, tough road ahead of you. Think about it. What's more important? That basketball game when you scored 20 points and won by 2, or being there to hug your son or daughter when he or she comes off the court after the game? Your musical renditions were exhilarating, filled with excitement, but I guarantee they'll pale in comparison to that first time you see the excitement in somebody else's eyes during a recital. And all the work you put into acing an exam is going to far less extraordinary than helping someone else do the same thing 20 years down the road. Even more so, you all have so much to learn, and you haven't even reached the tip of the iceberg when it comes to your education, whether it be formally or informally. We will all praise this knowledge you've gained to this point, but really that's only going to get you started in life. I came across this quote from Aaron Sorkin that hit home, and when you get after the initial shock of these comments, think about it, and it does make sense. Sorkin is a screenwriter. He's the screenwriter for The Social Network, and I'm likely the only non-Facebook using person on this stage, but I felt it necessary to escape my comfort zone and jump into your social media world. In his address to graduates at Syracuse University, Sorkin says, quote, "You're a group of incredibly well-educated dumb people. I was there. We were all there. You're barely functional. There are some screw-ups headed your way. I wish I could tell you that there was a trick to avoiding the screw-ups, but those screw-ups, they're coming for you." End quote. I, myself, was also there. You know what? I find myself there at times these days too. Your teachers were there. Your parents were there. There's nobody in the audience that hasn't been there at some point in time. But all is not lost, because this is your new beginning, your commencement. But only if you allow it to be. Continue to learn and strive for more. Don't be afraid of those screw-ups that are headed your way. Instead, treat them as challenges, even opportunities, and learn from your mistakes. Because while what you have accomplished to this point might not be much, it has prepared you for what you face ahead. Now, some in the audience would make the claim that I tend to make a short story long, and I promise not to do that this evening. So in closing, there are 3 pieces of advice that I would like you to ponder and carry with you throughout your lives. And while you might not always be able to follow these principles, please keep them in mind and reflect upon them regularly. First, listen, don't hear. All of you hear with your ears, but you think and listen with your minds. If you're only able to hear what somebody is saying and you don't listen to what the person is saying, you'll never understand its true meaning. Second, don't be afraid to take your time when making a decision. Now, I realize this goes against much of what you've experienced over the last several years of your lives, but life is not the ACT. A late decision will always be better than an incorrect decision. And finally, when it's time to take credit, use the word we. Even if it was your accomplishment, always credit others. But when it's time to take the blame, say I. Own up to your mistakes, even if it wasn't all you're doing, and don't take others with you. I wish you nothing but the best. Have continued success. May you be blessed with the opportunity and prosperity that all of you deserve. Thanks for this opportunity, and bless you 2012.
words to our class. We kind of stuck with the Ralph Waldo Emerson theme. Coordinated a little quote with you guys, so here we go. For years we have followed the path that our parents laid out for us, the path our friends or siblings took, so we traveled it as well. But now it is time to forge a new trail and begin a new journey. This newfound independence is going to be a time where we can shape ourselves into the hero we wish to be, the idol we've idolized but been too young to understand what they're truly about. All in all, whatever happens, the most important thing to remember is that it will be an adventure. So pack up and get ready, because the mountains we have to climb won't be easy. But through our times before and during Fairview High School, we have earned the tools that will help us reach the peak of that mountain.
Now you may think I'm no Indiana Jones, or my adventure will never measure up to that of Russell and Mr. Fredrickson from Pixar's Up. But why not? Each of you have been given the same tools as these so-called heroes. And although our backpacks might not be as massive as Boy Scout Russell's, or as light and dangerous as Indiana's, we all have the necessary supplies to thrive and survive on life's upcoming adventure. Maps, compasses, binoculars, boots, we have all of these, just not in forms you may recognize. Given to us by teachers, parents, and even fellow classmates, these tools are crammed in your backpack. So strap on that pack because you're ready to face what lies ahead.
Now you're probably wondering, where's this map? Or, I don't see a compass anywhere. But your life is a map with many trails and options leading to your point of destination. As you travel, the map might not always be clear, but that is why our parents and teachers have given us the necessary tools to guide ourselves like the arrow of a compass. Whether it is scolding from our mothers or even snippets and life lessons from the Ziccola household, our sense of direction has been strengthened through experiences at Fairview High School, providing us a sturdy compass to help us untangle ourselves from the grasses and vines as we stray from the path.
The places we go may be muddy, but our hiking boots will provide the necessary traction to keep us grounded. These boots are filled with the love and support buried in the friendships developed at Fairview. When the rain starts to pour or you feel your feet slipping, your friends will be there to keep you from falling and motivate you to retie your boots and keep climbing the slope. Although thank goodness we are done with Corey and Dance's mathematical slope.
So we have our boots from our friends, a map and compass from our teachers and parents, but what we're missing is the piece from ourselves, binoculars. As we grow and our values and morals evolve, we begin to learn what is important to us and the person we wish to become. As Mr. LeBron has taught us, life is diverse, but we must remember its options are diverse as well. By using our binoculars, we will be able to zoom in and focus on the option that will keep us on the yellow brick road.
So congratulations, class of 2012. We reached the first peak of our mountainous goals. But beware, there are greater mountains to climb and far more difficult streams to cross. There will be no cement highway to follow or a permanent sidewalk to bike along in the wilderness of life's journey. The dreams will change quickly from sunrise to sunset, but every decision you make will include a beautiful landscapes of moments to treasure for life. So don't fret that the journey ahead has not been paved out for you. For as Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail."
Thank you, class of 2012. We just wanted to say that we wouldn't want to do this with any other group of kids.
Traditionally, Fairview High School recognizes the top 10 students in each class, along with the salutatorian and valedictorian. These honors are based upon students' cumulative weighted grade point average for their 8 high school semesters. Students will be recognized with an honor stole, and the valedictorian and salutatorian will also be honored with a medal. The top 10 students in the class of 2012 are as follows, in alphabetical order. Madeline Allen. Scott Dunn. Christopher Gilmore. Brennan Kilbane. Nathan C. Matthew Wallace. Laura Watts. This year we have 2 salutatorians. They've already spoken to you this evening. Our first salutatorian, Monica Mills. Our second salutatorian, Denisa Pandrea. And the valedictorian of the class of 2012, Brian Hom. I present to you the top 10 of the Fairview High School class of 2012.
Before I begin, I would just like to have a moment of silence for the 4 Brunswick High School students who died in a car crash on Sunday in Columbia Station, just before 2 of them were supposed to graduate at the University of Akron. Thank you. Good evening, esteemed members of the Board of Education, teachers, families, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I moved into a college dormitory 2 days ago by my 3 new college roommates who are in the same medical program that I am in, and started my 6-year journey through college and medical school full-time yesterday. I am now free of my parents, and I can say that the partying has begun. Many of you will get the same thrill in 3 months. In the meantime, be nice to your parents. It is my honor to be speaking to you all this evening, and I would appreciate it if you gave me a thunderous round of applause after everything I say. I was just kidding. played an important role in helping each student on this stage reach this night. First, I would like to thank the parents, especially my own parents, Harold and Anita Hahn, for all of their hard work and dedication over the past 17 to 18 years. Without parental support, none of us would be on this stage today. Moreover, I would like to thank the school administration and the teachers for 4 memorable years of high school. Now, like most other valedictorians, I did not know what to write a speech about. I literally looked everywhere for inspiration. Out under my bed, but I only found some really old socks from the 7th grade. I searched for inspiration on Facebook, but inspiration did not exist. I went to the Yellow Pages, and it wasn't there. I even got a treasure map and followed the directions just like Dora the Explorer told me, but I still had no luck. Finally, I settled down and watched the Lifetime channel, which seems logical because it's supposed to teach you about life. However, after many boxes of tissues and many hours of eating popcorn on the sofa, I think the only thing I learned was that my husband is cheating on me. So I flipped the TV channel, and I happened to land on the Sci-Fi channel. How fitting, right? Because as the valedictorian, I must be the #1 nerd in the school. A movie called Battlestar Galactica was airing at the time. In the midst of a battle between the humans and the evil robots known as Cylons, Captain Adama, played by Lauren Green, made the comment that we humans love freedom, we love independence, to feel, to question, and to resist oppression. So how is this relevant? Well, according to him, these are the characteristics that make humans better than machines and technology. Our humanity has no bounds. Our class of 2012 is one of the first of a new generation that has become accustomed to having advanced technology practically everywhere and all the time. It appears that we can no longer live without our flat-screen TVs, laptop computers, video games, GPSs, iPads, Facebook, email, and our teachers' favorites, cell phones. It is amazing how technology has evolved since we first started school 13 years ago. I remember back in the 1st grade when I used to play a game called backyard basketball on the computer with my brother. By today's standards, that game was inferior. First, the computer was running on Windows 98, so it took like 20 minutes for the game to load. Second, it was so primitive that even my baby brother, who was in preschool at the time, could beat me. Nowadays, games like NBA Live are unbelievably more advanced. A few years ago, my father watched my brother and I play a basketball game on the Xbox, and he realized only at the end of the game that it was not real. I realized back in the 9th grade that I would never become an NBA superstar, so video games like NBA Live helped me fulfill my fantasy of beating LeBron James and winning a national basketball title for the Cleveland Cavaliers without suffering the pain of playing a real-life basketball game. Unfortunately, my brother Grant still beats me on NBA Live. Now, although the purpose of technology is to improve our lives, we must not let it take over our lives. Nowadays, we cannot leave our homes without having some kind of electronic device in our hands and in our pockets. As a society, we have been so engulfed by all this technology that we are starting to disconnect from each other. That is probably why public speaking is the #1 fear in America, next to death, cancer, and the AP biology exam. By using text messaging and email as primary modes of communication, we humans are losing the emotion and information that comes from ordinary conversations. Now, I'm not trying to say that I hate technology because I love technology. I mean, how could I survive high school without the internet and SparkNotes? Most of us have become accustomed to emailing and text messaging each other for information, homework, answers, and party planning, especially late at night. However, as we go forward and move on to the next chapter of our lives, we need to keep in mind that our humanity is what is most important. Our humanity is what made us one of the greatest classes of Fairview High School. Our humanity fueled our creativity, which led to 3 straight homecoming float competition victories. And sure, we used the aid of technology in making our floats, but it was ultimately our minds and our desire to go above and beyond that made the floats incredible. Being human is not about spending time with all these fancy gadgets that can tell us anything like, where is Chipotle? Instead, being human is about enjoying and developing culture, solving complex problems, creating new things, interacting socially, and much more. For the last 4 years, we have laughed together, sung together, played together, cheered each other on, and supported each other. There have been some glorious moments where the entire community has rallied together, such as our victory over our arch-rival Rocky River in football 2 years ago. These moments are not limited to athletics either. The Fairview Park City School District recently earned an excellent rating from the State Board of Education. This could not have happened without leadership and people working together. There have also been some not-so-glorious moments that have made us unhappy or angry. Nevertheless, we have lived through the good times and the bad times together. Again, humanity has no bounds. The possibilities are endless as to what we will achieve in the future. Amongst us are the world's future automotive mechanics, engineers, fashion designers, environmentalists, lawyers, scientists, doctors, nurses, teachers, inventors, business owners, authors, cooks, and maybe even a future U.S. president. If we work together, we human beings will solve today's and tomorrow's problems. In the future, our humanities will maintain our relationships with each other and help us build new relationships, maintain the freedoms and liberties that we enjoy, and make us successful in society. The technology that we have is just a tool to help us maintain our relationships and achieve our goals. Yes, I do look forward to looking at your future photos on Facebook, getting tweets about your activities, getting email invitations to your college parties and weddings, and I also look forward to hearing and reading about your future achievements like college graduation, marriage, children, job promotions, and retirement. I hope that everyone in this auditorium maintains the human characteristics that have united us and made us strong for the last 4 years so that we remain strong and make an impact in the world in the future. Each of you should strive to heal the world and make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. Now, before I conclude, I recognize that many of us here do not know each other, even though we are all here to celebrate the graduation of our children, grandchildren, and friends. So, as an expression of our humanity, I want each of you in the audience to get up and do what a singer named Diana Ross suggested many years ago in a song, reach out and touch somebody's hand by shaking a stranger's hand around you and introducing yourself. So get up. I'm serious. Sit down now. I do look forward to seeing many of you again in my medical office in about 50 years. In the meantime, I will always have fond memories of my days at Fairview High School, and I will greatly miss all of you. I wish each of my classmates a happy, prosperous, and successful life. Congratulations to the class of 2012.
Thank you, Brian. Brian is just one of many scholarship award winners in the class of 2012. through local, state, national scholarships, along with many scholarships issued by various higher learning institutions that these young people will be attending. The class of 2012 has been offered $2,327,043 in scholarship funds. Presentation of the class gift, Liana Shahada.
On the behalf of the class of 2012, we would like to present Fairview High School and the City of Fairview Park a sign to adorn the front of the press box. The sign will mark James V. Daly Stadium as the home of the Fairview Warriors. At this time, we would also like to thank and recognize our class advisor, Ms. Armstrong. Her dedication and hard work to the class has made our high school experience outstanding and memorable.
Mr. Shikowski, and members of the Board of Education. It is my pleasure to present to you the following students of the Fairview High School class of 2012 that have met all graduation requirements set forth by the Ohio State Department of Education and the Fairview Park Board of Education.
Katiana Marie Speckman. Monica Elise Jacobison. Chelsea Nicole Barrington. Charlene Diane Bowles. Chelsea May Knox. Madeline Claire Langley. Samantha Marie Williams. Ashley Marie Holly. Shannon Ashley Maxwell. Natalie Elizabeth Medaglia. Tatiana Shiti. Connie Tin. Hannah Nicole Addison. Renee Elizabeth Chambers. Sarah Kristen Dawson. Jessica Ann DeCrane. Monica Grace Mills. Erin Marie Wolanski. Liana Bassam Shahada. Denisa Aurelia Pandrea.
Colin
Patrick Schmitz. Thomas Edward Lyons. Kevin Parker Joyce. Connor James Grow. Brendan Russell Cunningham. Evan Michael Ball. Donald Michael Grant. Trevor Joseph Fox. David Jacob Feliciano. Derek Michael Correa. Daniel Patrick Buttercup. Mahmoud Mansour Awad. Ron Elian Arkush. Kevin Xavier Thomas. Anthony Ryan Santos. Benjamin Joseph Kives. Ryan Matthew Howell. Brian Lee Hom. Scott William Dunn.
Emily Ann Doyle. Rachel Therese Gill. Emily Anna Heap. Caitlin Mary McCaffrey. Andrea Marie Russell. Melissa Marie Ederling. Molly Therese Rehor. Lisa Marie Bryant. Chelsea Elise Burgo. Rachel Margaret Elliott. Anna Catherine Elliott. Casey Renee Glagora. Julia Therese Lahosky. Jennifer Tran. Morgan Marie Belva. Catherine Grace Buchanan. Carrie Margaret Erickson. Jessica Lynn Field. Hannah May Crable.
David Zachary Lansu. Kevin Christopher Hogginson. John Michael Doherty. Nathan Donald Yerian. Kevin Eric Rice. Ryan Philip Miller. Brett Marcus Meister. Corey Edward Manco. Matthew Ryan Lynn. John Charles Haney. Alex Ryan Geiger. Javier J. Diaz. Sean Patrick Myers. William Michael McCune, Jr. Michael John McCaffrey. Adrian Bendo. Daniel Patrick Walsh. Matthew Duncan Wallace. Christopher Tran. Daniel Christopher Milan.
Marissa Taylor Merriman. Alexis Lynn Elizabeth Mitchum. Megan Elizabeth Murtaugh. Joanna Lillian Smith. Haneen M. Suleiman. Lauren K. Wazovich. Shannon Elizabeth Whitmer. Nazari Chavez Williams. Emily Ann Carter. Megan Shea Dietrich. Jessica Rose Philkill. Sarah Lynn Fountain. Alexis Elizabeth Jobs Colvin. Michelle Summer Kosminski. Alexandra Christine Lehman. Jamie Lynn Thompson. Laura Juliana Watts. Alana Marie Orlandi. Sandra Marie Davis. Aaron O'Toole Flynn.
Brandon Michael Ware. Chris Alexander Tassin. Brennan Edward Kilbane. Daniel Ryan Roman. William John Petro. Christopher Marmatakis. Daniel Joseph Lyman. Richard Ronald Alowenko. Justin Paul Herholt. Cody Mitchell Simo. Colin Michael Brancatelli. Jordan M. Beppel. Paul Marcus Ziegler. Nathan Thomas C. James Paul Rowland. Jeffrey William Mortensen. Daryl Lee Mayo Jr. Thomas Allen Lozier. Charles Nicholas Loney. Jason Connor Purdy.
Sarah Elizabeth Mari. Jennifer Claire May. Samantha Frances Sherman. Hannah Elizabeth Stock. Erin Eileen Gallagher Sutton. Heidi Elizabeth Snyder. Madeline Elizabeth Allen. Morgan Emily Margaret King. Erin Brianna Ritchie. Gabrielle Renee Taylor.
Kyle Jacob Osborne. Rory James June. Eric John Laban. Christopher Anthony Plosica. Jonathan Michael Knight. Christopher James Gilmore.
Good evening, family, friends, staff, administration, and classmates. Life. As young children, it seems undoubtedly mysterious and perhaps frightening. But luckily, we are not forced to begin our lives in total blindness. Throughout our lives, we are placed beside many irreplaceable companions who help us discover and to learn. Sometimes these companions simply walk beside us, reminding us that we are not alone. Every person that we have walked with, conversed with, laughed, cried, and loved with has shaped our being to what it is today. In this sense, our lives are not a single moment or memory, but rather a mosaic. A collection of parts that are arranged to create a whole pattern or image. Names, faces, experiences, emotions, actions, outcomes, souls, pieced together to form an intricate and unique life. These parts that have worked to shape the current day mosaic of our lives have been numerous, and the task to put an exact count on them would be difficult. But three major elements have come together in the first 18 years of our lives that have shaped us into who we are today. These three elements have created, in large, our present-day mosaic. From the time we were born to the time our life comes to a close, there is no doubt that we are heavily shaped by our family, whether we want to or not. Our family is the first of the human connections that we make. It is these first relationships which we learn to establish relationships with others. In a sense, our families act as the canvas, the layout from which we are able to create our unique mosaic. The foundation of our families are our parents, who provide us with patience and love in hope that all we may do will reach its full potential on whatever avenue we choose. Their guidance and wisdom supports our decisions, and we learn from them the value of having a role model. Our family also includes our siblings. This is usually the family relationship which brings about eye-opening experiences. Some of us may have learned that the older sibling may get all the gifts, but the younger sibling gets all the attention. But from our siblings, we learn what it's like to have a friend. These beginnings prove to have the greatest impact upon how we interact with others. Our experiences with our parents guide us as we seek more role models to idolize. Our relationship with our siblings directs us in choosing our friends outside of the home. But the truly remarkable thing about family is not that only that they are our first relationship, but they are our longest lasting. Family is with us throughout our lives, by our sides. Family is next to us when we need encouragement, advice, or even just a hug. Family is the constant in our mosaic that will be forever with us. We are appreciative of family and understand their important part in our lives. Our mosaic is our beginning canvas. The next aspect of our mosaic that is almost as important as family is our friends. These are the people we have spent an abundant amount of time with, either at school, at work, or just hanging out. No matter the situation, the fact is that we travel through our lives with these people, side by side, hand in hand, together. Our friends were the ones standing by our side when we learned the hard way that playing catch in front of my basement window was not a good idea. They were holding our hands when we played Red Rover on the playground. We were even together when we learned that it was normal that girls had cooties. As we grew older, although situations changed, our friends remained with us. Our friends were the ones standing by our side when we entered Fairview High School for the first time. They were holding our hands as we waited in fear for our final exam results. We were even together when we realized that our high school careers were nearing their end when we started our senior year last August. These set of friends, the FHS class of 2012, has one thing in common that sets us apart from other groups of friends. That is the strength and endurance of our bonds with each other. No matter how much time has passed, we always manage to rally back together as friends. Our friends were the ones standing by our side when we walked in the homecoming parade or stood in the bleachers for Red Day. They were holding our hands when we released balloons on the football field in memory of our own Christina. And finally, we are here, together, on this stage, as we receive our diplomas. We have been through a lot, and no matter where we may go in life, we will always know we are with our friends. That's why our friends are such a great part of our mosaic. We may part ways, but we know that no matter what may come, our friends have changed our picture, our mosaic, forever. They are leaving their mark on us because of the bonds we have made with them, side by side, hand in hand, together. Everyone's mosaic has been uniquely affected by both family and friends, as each individual has their own personal set. However, there is one commonality between the mosaics of the individuals up here on stage tonight. Fairview. No matter if you have lived in the city for 1 year or 18 years, we have all been shaped by the town in which we reside. The reason that this town can affect our lives in so many different ways is our perspective of Fairview. For many people, this has always been and will always be the starting point of an incredible journey. Without this town, we would have no place to grow and to expand from. No matter your feelings towards the roots, those roots will always be a part of you and who you will become. Some may feel comfort in the landscape of Fairview. Bolkin Park is where the game of baseball or soccer developed from a sport into a passion. The nearby households meant there was always a neighbor or a friend just down the street. And for practically all of us, the Dairy View at Lorraine and 220 has been that comforting spot where there was always someone you knew waiting in line for their ice cream. These connotations of Fairview have been a large part of our lives, but perhaps the greatest association we may draw with Fairview is its school district. From Garnett to Parkview to Lewis F. Mayer and on to Fairview High School. The education we received in these buildings has been a great part of our growth and development of the adults we are today. The growth would not be possible without the wonderful staff throughout the school district, the supportive administration, the wonderful guidance counselors, librarians, and janitors, but perhaps most importantly, the teachers. A teacher's job is to educate their students upon the subject matter or matters they are assigned. At the sound of the description, the task may seem straightforward and plain. But in the classrooms and in the hallways, this job becomes much more than simply teaching. It becomes the handling of lives. A teacher dramatically changes and molds the lives of his or her students far beyond their formal education. They show us how, explain to us why, and from this, we form our opinions and views. Without these leaders of the lesson plans, our life would be lacking a pivotal learning process of both the world and ourselves. The incredible teachers we have had in Fairview School District have taken a passion and pride in their job, realizing the extended meaning of their title. A noble task to embark upon by any human, these teachers deserve recognition tonight. I ask my classmates to join me in a round of applause. I hope this genuine and well-deserved acknowledgement will not be tainted by the previous decision made by my classmates to call me the official teacher's pet of the class. Family, friends, and Fairview. 3 outstanding parts to each of our mosaics. As we formally meet one last time tonight, I wish to thank my classmates. I thank you for allowing me to become a part of your mosaic. But even more importantly, thank you for being a part of mine. You have been a pivotal part on my journey to where I am today, whether you are aware of it or not. Although we may go our separate ways, take comfort in the fact that our souls will forever be cemented within one another's mosaics. For when you understand what has shaped and molded you, you are then able to better understand who you are as a unique individual. Our mosaic is never truly defined until we realize all the interactions and experiences of our life that have affected us. This is when all of the pieces come together and the beautiful, unique creation is seen. Without any one of us, we would not have our mosaic, the mosaic of the class of 2012.